Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. We have returned for some more Lord of Mysteries, episode 13, the final episode of the first season. Truly, this show has been amazing. I'll probably go over my overall thoughts after the episode and, what I thought about the show, the season overall. And before we get to the recap of the previous episode, I just want to say that with this show coming to an end, once again, I would like to say, if any of you know any cool shows, anime, live action shows, even YouTube videos you would like me to watch, let me know. Many of them I will probably have already seen, and many of them I might just check out and be like, this isn't for me. Still, I appreciate any and all suggestions for new shows, new videos to watch, new anything really. Anything you would like me to react to, feel free to suggest it. With that said, previously on Lord of Mysteries, we're in the end game now as the pregnant lady who I knew would have a bigger role to play. I called as much. Turns out that the baby is actually like a dark god planted inside her or something. And to combat this situation with her turning into a monster, Captain Dunn, seemingly potentially being influenced somehow by the invisible feathers and whatnot, asked for the core seal of the vault that they have that keeps all the artifacts. So my theory is that with the core seal now removed, they can now send a strike force or something to infiltrate the vault while the main guys are dealing with this big monster situation. But I guess we shall see in the final episode of Lord of Mysteries.
Go! The vessel's reacting to the threat of the Saint's ashes. He will soon descend.
We're out of time, Captain. She must be dealt with. There's an evil god on the way.
You monster! You aim to kill my child!
Where is she?
Leon, Sophie!
Leonard! The blood vessel thief.
I'm not gonna lie, the veiny powers, the veiny stuff in general is just disgusting.
I can't get a lock.
Get to the memorial sanctum. It's the only hope we have.
That thing is fast. You got your opening, Mr. Leonard.
How dare you try to harm my child!
What the fuck?
Stay back while I restrain her. Count to 10, then attack.
Are you sure?
Give me 10 seconds. That's an order. No need to worry. This is to save Tingen. I'll be fine. I won't be fighting alone.
Who the hell are you to tell me I can't keep my child?
Okay, that's not how countdowns work. You gotta actually use seconds, not 10-second seconds.
6.
It's been like 20 seconds already.
5. 4. 3.
I will bear my child, and you will die!
One. Ornament!
The light of the sun! Of the blazing sun! None can withstand the might of the blazing sun.
Is it over?
Scratch this heart. I don't think that's good. I'm not a doctor, but I don't think that's good.
From the church. Thank goddess you're here.
And who is this guy now? Backup, maybe? Maybe not.
Old man. Let it!
Is this what we saw in the very beginning? It is, right?
Nightmare. Now's my chance.
is happening?
A god has descended.
The truth is, as much as I hate the fact beyond us must exist, that just makes me admire the Nighthawks even more.
We can't let the true creator descend. Absolutely not. Captain.
Ah yes, the classic. Gotta be badass while you go out. Just a little bit of pulling your own heart out, you know, I mean, just a regular Tuesday. Or Tuesday, excuse me. Tuesday. So he pulled his heart out, put it inside the... I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what's going on. That's very common with the show.
Clyde.
Let there be light! Let the blazing sun cleanse you of your filth.
Captain. It was all worth it. Clyde. We did it. We saved Tinkin.
Did he... I was gonna say, did he light his pipe with the, you know, the blaze of the blazing sun? Because that would be...
Captain! Captain!
True. Ah.
No longer sealed. I am liberated. Corrupt and covetous, Ensangwil freed me of my bondage behind the Charnus Gate. He craved my discreet abetment in obtaining Saint Selena's ashes. Despite their invariably tedious aims, mortals always strive to obscure their machinations, and thus they seek me.
So it was about the
Awoken by
ashes.
dark divination, the Antigonus family notebook influenced the remaining survivor Klein Moretti to deliver it to the home of Ray Bieber. A logical coincidence, if a bit contrived. After that, Klein was impelled to suicide. What's most perplexing, though, he somehow managed to survive. To further the absurdity, he even joined the Nighthawks. How droll. Evading doom once again, Klein inexplicably killed a Secret 7 member of the Secret Order. This infuriated Ents, but the story remained impenetrable and unaffected. Chronically wounding his spirituality, John Smith gazed at a god. Naturally, the true creator observed the events around his summoning and clearly saw the calculated design beneath the coincidences. Yet, given the deity's wish to be freed of his shackles, why argue with it? Belief has been beggared and evicted. Klein Moretti impossibly perceived the surreptitious manipulations. He even healed Dunn with the acting method. No, Ents refused to believe it, yet he continued to alter the plot. Racked with remorse, Dunn dutifully followed protocol and consumed Kenley's characteristics. His digestion was blocked and his mind was muddled. And thus his poor decision not to lure Magos into the confines of the Charnus Gate, but to remove Saint Selena's ashes from the bulwark instead. Finally, Ents removed the perpetual thorn in his side known as Klein Moretti by removing his heart. Using the remaining characteristics of Death's descendant, Ents conducted a ritual to consume Saint Selena's ashes, allowing him to advance from a Sequence 5 gatekeeper of the Death Pathway to a Sequence 4 Night Watcher of the Evernight. As such, he ascended to the state of demigod.
So this is the pen that
The
writes
sun
without ink,
shone
right?
upon the land as usual. Only a scant few of Tingen's citizenry were aware of the merciless apocalyptic carnage they narrowly escaped. And thus concludes the story of Tingen.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this.
We received an unencrypted wire. It's from the Holy Cathedral. They've already ID'd the culprit. The Red Gloves are on the case.
Then I intend to join them. The Red Gloves.
Relax, Klein's just a history consultant. He's not chasing crooks. So that's why
about that.
Melissa was willing to pay 5 solely for play tickets. You hope to cheer him up and take his mind off work, eh?
Klein, I have a surprise.
Well, obviously, the game is not over, but the question is, what's going on? One of two things is going to happen. One, we're being shown what would happen if things happened the way they did as we saw them. Or two, this is happening, but Klein somehow comes back the same way he did when after he killed himself.
Life is ephemeral, and the soil waits to extinguish it. Yet a hero's soul is eternal, forever burning brilliantly. A searing blade cleaving through calamity, a scorching eulogy intoned over the ashes of evil. May the wild wind carry your endless blaze to the goddess's kingdom. May you fuel the stars lighting the everlasting night. May you return to your original purity. The only tranquility is in rest. The only tranquility is in rest. The only tranquility is in rest.
I'm sorry. I tried to make it in time. I know the truth now. And the Mastermind will suffer.
Is he literally gonna come back to life? Right? Right? Okay. I have an idea. I have a theory. Last time I said that I theorized that the Grey Fog is indeed Klein's power, potentially from the future or whatever, but the point is that the Grey Fog is tied to Klein somehow. And I would go as far as to say it's like it's tied to his life, essentially. In other words, as long as the Grey Fog exists, he cannot be killed, because even if his physical body gets hurt or damaged or whatever, essentially he dies physically, the Grey Fog will just, because they're connected, the Grey Fog will just like revive or like heal his body, just like it did when he got, burned by the blazing sun when he gazed upon the god. And then, the Grey Fog healed him. Back then, I just assumed that because him gazing upon the sun was kind of done through a memory, I just assumed that everything that happened was in his mind, right? But I also wouldn't be surprised that that's how he healed himself after shooting himself in the head in the very beginning, right? Because he's always connected to the Grey Fog, his own potential future power that keeps him alive, or something along those lines.
Guess this makes you a grave good. The question now, what am I? Am I no more than a ghoul who clawed his way back from hell, awakened by vengeance? Insane will. So he was the mastermind. Could that be the power of sealed artifact 008? Its written word dictates reality. No, it must control the will of its target. Ince's only goal was to steal St. Selena's ashes. I was never his target. It was always the captain. The immediate locality of Insane Will. The whereabouts of Lanavus. My best chance to grow stronger. It all leads to Backland.
We did it. We saved Tinkin.
I don't think he can go back. At least not yet.
The chrysanthemum. They symbolize happiness.
Well, after credits.
Good day, sir. Might I ask your name?
It's Sherlock. Sherlock Moriarty.
Right. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? First things first, I loved how this ended. I really do. Secondly, I am going to rewatch this on my own time after this. Thirdly, considering how little we really see of the sister and the brother, it got to me. It definitely got to me. I mean, the idea of... What gets to me is the idea that someone who doesn't deserve it, or someone who doesn't deserve to go through hardship, goes through hardship. So in this case, the sister who's like, you know, just a good person. I mean, we haven't really seen much of the brother. The brother isn't really around, seemingly. We see a lot more of the sister. Her being this kind of happy character who is just a good person, you know, having to learn that, oh, your brother's dead, you know, and it's like, it just kind of breaks your heart. And the fact that now Klein, even though he's back, he can't go back. Now, I will say, however, that unless he wants to be extremely cautious, there's... like, I don't see why he couldn't actually tell her that he's still alive. Because all it would take is just, hey, I'm still alive, but I need to hide the fact that I'm alive. Because there's some bad shit going on, and people need to, like, I need people to still think that I'm dead. Of course they would want answers, they would want more information, but I feel like all he needs to do is, hey, look, all I need you to know is that I'm still alive, just, but still act as if I'm dead, please, you know? Don't tell anybody that I'm still alive. I faked my death for very important reasons. I'll tell you eventually, but right now I can't. That kind of thing. I feel like he could do it, and maybe he still will. I mean, I don't know. I definitely am going to rewatch this whole thing, so I assume the pen, or the quill that doesn't need ink to write, essentially writes like destiny, or writes the timeline in a way, or the other way around, where it writes what the timeline is already. But I assume since it's a quill that people can use it and to write something, thus changing the timeline or changing fate or whatever. I don't know. Again, hard to say, really hard to say. There's so many potential possibilities. Ultimately, the whole situation, like I said, was indeed a plot to just get the artifact, the Saint's Ashes. I cannot wait to see what happens, especially now that Klein kind of has to investigate on his own. I wonder how long this is gonna last in terms of, like, you know, no one knowing that he's alive. I wonder how long that's gonna last. A great ending to a season, I will say. This is they just know what they're doing. I've seen many a show that are good overall, but then they kind of don't stick the landing in terms of like being an end to a season. But here they know exactly what they're doing. They ended off with a big kind of climactic moment, and then they set up multiple things, like, you know, Klein's family thinking that he's dead, having a whole funeral and everything, and Daly also thinking that, you know, Klein and Captain Dunn are dead. Well, Dunn probably is dead, but, you know, Klein's not. And then we're going to go to Backland or whatever, And now we most likely, because, you know, Klein's gonna keep the fact that he's still alive hidden, and probably is going to go investigate on his own. So we're probably gonna have, like, the next season, him going to this backland place and doing things on his own, kind of maybe more like a journey type, where we're going to go to a new city, meet some new characters, etc., etc. I do wonder how much of Klein's family we're gonna see still, if he does go to a different city. I do hope that they don't just kind of leave the sister out of the story from now on. I mean, I don't know. I think it would just be a little bit sad, you know? I've grown attached. I've grown attached to this little fella right here. It'd be kind of sad to just not see them again, you know? But yeah, very, very good ending for a season. They ended a big plot. They set up multiple new leads, multiple new things that's going to happen. There's plenty of mysteries to still figure out, like what the Grey Fog is and, you know, how it brought him back to life and so on and so forth. But all of that we shall leave until the next season. Overall, I will give this show, well, I will give this season a 9 out of 10. Unfortunately, I cannot give it more than a 9 due to my own rules. The rules being that if a show does not have an ending, you cannot go above a 9. At least not in my rating system. But once it does get an ending, when I say an ending, I mean like the whole story ends. You know, like they put a fucking bow on it. All the mysteries have been solved. You know, everyone lives happily ever after. That kind of ending, right? Once they have that ending, and that ending is good, the season and all the other seasons probably are going to turn into a 10 out of 10. But for now, temporarily, it's a 9 out of 10. If they keep this quality up for the next season and the one after that and the one after that, however many seasons there are going to be, however long the show is, to keep this quality up, it's going to be an easy, the most fucking easiest 10 out of 10 I've ever seen. You know what this is? This fucking show is the Baldur's Gate 3 of anime. The art, the atmosphere, the style, the music, the voice acting, the story direction, the cinematography, which is very important, by the way, cinematography. Just all, like, look at all these shots. Look at all these shots. The top-down shot of the umbrellas. Then you have like this wide shot of like them. It's very important. Cinematography is very important. It's so good. The show is so good. I think this is just what happens when you bring together a group of people who know what they're doing. When it comes to the audio, the only thing I might say, even though the audio and the music is great, there are no, that I can think of at least, there are no standout musical pieces. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean, like, when you think, for instance, something like Attack on Titan, you can immediately, you can imagine the theme of Attack on Titan. You can hear certain themes. You can imagine certain themes because you probably listened to them so many times, because the melody is so recognizable. The melody is so what's the word? Memorable and catchy. And I will say that if there's one thing that the show didn't do or manage to do, is kind of have a musical melody, like a theme to the show. A lot of shows and games that have good music, they have oftentimes this like main theme melody that they reuse and make like 6 or 7 different versions of. Many shows do this. They have a main theme and then they make multiple versions. This show, as far as I can tell, didn't have kind of a main theme that was very catchy that they overused over and over. Not that I can remember anyway. Maybe I didn't pay attention enough, but yeah, like as good as their like sound design is and as good as their music is, they didn't really have that like main theme melody. And this is pretty much, the funny thing is, this is pretty much the only downside I can come up with. And it's not even really a downside. It's more like something that could have made the show even better. Other than that, I'm trying to think of negatives in this show, and I can't think of a single one. There are no cons to this show. On this channel, I've watched multiple different shows, and whenever I find something that is kind of bullshit or doesn't make sense or you know, just is kind of stupid, I point it out, as I'm sure you've noticed. Even with this show, you know, I pointed out the whole power system being a little confusing, to say the least. And it's really hard to predict what type of powers any one character might have. But yeah, that's my main, honestly, the only small complaint. And even then, it doesn't really detract from the enjoyment. It's even hard to call it a con, more of just a little bit of confusion. If they were to maybe go more into explaining how certain things work when it comes to the powers in the next season, maybe, even that problem for me would be ironed out. But for now, yeah, that's really the only thing I can think of. Everything else about the show is just too good. The show is too good. It really is. It's so good that I'm not gonna lie. Recently, I've been trying to watch some of the other anime that are coming out right now. And it's not necessarily because of this show, but this show has definitely pushed my inability to watch average anime even further. Because I'm not gonna lie, I think I said this before as well, I've been skipping. Not this show. I don't skip anything that I react to, but like when I watch just some average anime, I've been skipping episodes. Like, okay, not entire episodes, I skip through the episode. Like, I skip like 5 seconds at a time, 5-10 seconds at a time. And granted, I don't do it all the time, but if it's like clearly super slow and they're not really doing anything or saying anything, you know, characters are interacting and doing their classic, boring, dumb anime moment stuff, or anime comedy stuff, I just kind of skip through all that shit. And it's like, I can still follow the story just as well, because the story is so fucking simple and basic in most of these shows that I don't even need to know what they're saying or hear what they're saying to follow along. And it's like, and now this show just shows me what I'm missing. What we're all missing. It's okay, anyway. Enough of me rambling. Here we are at the end of Lord of Mysteries Season 1. What more is there to say? The show is an amazing show, and I can only pray. I pray to the blazing sun that the show keeps its quality as it comes out with its second season. I can only hope that it doesn't go down the unfortunate path of enshittification that One Punch Man, or as some call it, One Frame Man, has gone down, and they keep the quality as good as it is. Whoever is leading their direction, whatever team they have that made this season, keep that team. Give them just as much budget, if not more, just as much time, if not more, and the same people, and God almighty, you have a fucking 10 out of 10 on your hands. A long form 10 out of 10. Ladies and gents, if you've gotten this far, thank you for joining me for this whole ride. And we shall be back next time with Season 2 of Lord of Mysteries, whenever that comes. Until next time, I bid you adieu.